What is up, guys? So it's a video for you, just a food for thought. All right, something that was brought to my attention the other day was a prophecy that somebody had that kind of went against the grain, and it makes you wonder these days with modern day prophets and prophecies and all these different things, how we're supposed to know what's real, what's not. What is a prophet? Is it the office of a prophet? Is it the spiritual gift of prophecy? All these different things. And there's lots of people out there that claim to be a prophet, and they make a living off of being a prophet. And not just in the office of a prophet, but in the sense of they claim to be like an Old Testament prophet, but without the repercussions, mind you. Because we've seen many of these prophecies be wrong. And understand this, that's not entirely what I want to get into. What I want to get into is the end of the world. That prophecy that keeps going around is we are in end times. Well, I want you to know something. Ever since Jesus died, rose again, and ascended, we've been in the end times. Because when we look in Matthew and it discusses what the signs of the times are, war, pestilence, all those different things, rumors of wars, guess what? That's been going on since he left. That is not something that is new. And we look at the world we're in, we look at the political leaders. Well, guess what? There was worse political leaders back in the day. Do you think people, when Nero was around, do you think that they thought, oh, this is the end of the world. Look at the leader that we have. And back then, they didn't even have the same defense constitution that we have now. So I just want us to be careful with this end of the world prophecy and what we've been hearing so much of, because there was this counter prophecy to that saying that this person thinks and believes that the spiritual attack on the church this day and age is actually the end times prophecies. And I thought that was interesting because you know what another sign of the time is? False doctrine, not just false doctrine and false theology, but false prophets. And a majority of the prophets are saying it's the end of the world. Look out. There's going to be war. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. And there's a lot of fear mongering. And though we need to be prepared for Jesus' return, but the way the Bible instructs us to live automatically prepares us for that. There is no other preparation. All right. You can look at the prepping of storing food and ammo and guns and all these different things. Okay, sure. Yeah. I'm not saying don't do that because myself, I do that. I'm actually about to go on a ruck right now. I have the loaded up backpack, carrier, all this different stuff. My plate carrier today was disassembled, but I didn't have it fully kitted and loaded out. But I'm preparing for such things as this. But there's this fear mongering going on. It's not just the news. It's Christian YouTubers. It's prophets that keep saying these different things. And so I want you to be careful to what you listen to. And make sure you use a discerning eye, because there will be false teachings and false doctrines, false prophets. And to be honest, when a majority of people are saying something's going to happen, it doesn't always mean that they're right. It could be that we are all deceived. And that's the trick of being deceived, is that we don't know we're deceived. That's what deception is. So I'm not saying that all these prophets that are claiming things are all wrong and they should be stoned to death or murdered or killed or whatever, like the Old Testament says. But enough of them would have been killed in the Old Testament based on their previous prophecies. But I want us to think about that. The end of the world, the fear-mongering, and the false teachings that come along with it. False prophecies that come along with it. That maybe, just maybe, we're going to be okay. And wars break out, wars happen, things happen. I'm not saying it's okay. It's not something to be concerned about. But this whole, the world's going to end. Well, guess what? As a Christian, that's okay. What we need to be doing is living a life that reflects Christ to others. And part of that is being strong, being ready, but not being afraid. And a lot of these end times prophecies are making people fearful, anxious, and they're not operating in the way that God has instructed us to operate. So think about that the next time you think the world is going to end.